we're all in at 6, but because we're seller financing, we don't really have to come up with all the cash, because of the seller finance. So that is a helpful thing. So thank you.
You're welcome. And it's better than that. So then you're also going to get 40% tax credits over the next 4 years. So you're all in at 6. Plus you're going to get to throw on top of that your first year operation and your first year marketing. So let's say you're all in at 8. And then you get 40% back on that.
So we've been approved to be all in by the tourist board already. So we've been approved for 1.1 million.
Oh my.
So we can spend 1.1 million and get 40% back of that. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'm sure the first year we open, we're going to really push the marketing, really, help with that. So yeah.
This is something. Welcome back, everybody. The Flip Flop Flipper here, Robbie Krager, and it's my pleasure to be with Sati Ah. And we're just finishing up the Puerto Rico Mastermind. We just did 3 kind of all-day, long days, talking about all things Puerto Rico, real estate, and opportunity zones. And we're going to talk about Sati's experience. She's a veteran now. She's come twice. And she's actually investing in real estate here in Puerto Rico. And welcome, Sati. Thank you very much for coming.
Robbie, hi. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm glad to have you, really. Thank you. So tell us, how did you first come to the first Mastermind? I guess that was maybe 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, so July.
Okay.
Was the first time I came.
Yep.
And how I ended up there, I was in a transition with my own business, looking at where can I buy and hold properties that would be profitable, cash flow. The U.S. prices have been the U.S. mainland, prices have been so elevated.
Yeah.
So I was considering Detroit, and then I got an email about a mastermind in Puerto Rico. And I thought, hey, why not go check it out, see what's happening in Puerto Rico? The Caribbean, an island.
Absolutely.
Talking about real estate. What else could be more fun?
And you came, and I think it was a great time last time you came. And as you left the island, I think we had some conversations about the fact that you'd be interested. And you were talking to Zachary Postel.
Yes.
And Zachary and I were trying to put this deal together that you actually ended up helping to really materialize and bring to life. So let's talk about that. You're now an investor in Puerto Rico.
That's
in
right.
a hospitality Act 60 tourism play in Caguas, Puerto Rico.
Yep, and I'm so excited. Love the property. And when I left in July, there was a lot of energy. I saw so many, the possibilities was very high compared to what I've so then I was, how can I maintain this? Who can I call who's there, who might be able to bird dog properties for me, bring me some properties. And so I reached out to a couple people, and actually Zachary was very on point, calling me back. Yeah, let's talk about some deals. And then he brought me a couple of things, and one of them was the one in Caguas. Yep. And I liked the way it looked in the pictures and on paper. Great return on my investment.
The math is pretty easy to see.
Yeah, the math is easy.
A 9-unit mixed-use building.
Yeah.
Yes, it needs a lot of work, but you could tell by just kind of even looking at pictures how nice the rest of the stuff around it is. And then you're buying the worst thing in the best neighborhood.
Yes.
And so that's good.
Yep. The whole block was renovated. This property's on the corner.
Yep.
Last one not renovated.
Yeah. You guys are going to do something really smart. At least that's what I heard yesterday, which I'm part of this deal in that I sold the project to your group.
Yes.
And I'm in it still as a silent partner, although I'm pretty vocal, and some creative seller financing.
Yes.
But the thing that I heard yesterday, and you were very excited about it, and I was listening to you and Zachary talk about what's going on there, and you're going to paint it so that it looks like everything else on the block. Yeah. In case they ever want to buy it from you.
Yes.
That's brilliant, right?
Yes.
And I was really happy to see that you were so excited about it, and I am heavily invested in Zachary and his success. I have several guys that are here that I'm sort of, I guess, mentoring, but I'm trying to set them up for success so that I can continue to do more deals as maybe I pull back. My wife would like what she calls like balance. And come on, I want to do more. And so if I can help some people move into my role, then maybe I can do a bunch of deals with Don and with Zachary and one or two other people, and I can actually do more but do less. That's sort of the dream.
And so when Zachary brought me the deal and told me we could seller finance it with you, that was great. And then I also was comforted to know, because Zachary's new-ish to real estate, like a couple years as an investor. And, I remember when I was but knowing that you were also part of it brought some comfort to say okay, I know Zachary's surrounded by good people. Yeah. He's surrounded by experienced, knowledgeable people. Yep. So that helped me have confidence in being able to pull the trigger on doing it. That's awesome.
So I'm really glad to hear that that's working, and perhaps a video like this will encourage more people to come and help other people to, all kind of boats rise in the rising tide, and that's where we're at in Puerto Rico. So on our channel here, we always invite people to come to Puerto Rico because there's so much opportunity here. And if I can convince anyone to come and do good things on the island, it helps the island, it helps me, it helps the channel, it helps you. So hopefully we'll be able to share this with your network, and we'll generate some more people that will want to invest with you and me and just the island. Really, that's what my heart is about. There's a lot to do here in Puerto Rico, so inviting people to come and do great things, that's our passion.
Yes, there's a lot to do, and it's fun doing it.
Yes.
There is
I jump out of bed every day. I have a great life here, and I get to do fun projects,
and the community, it's strong, it's collaborative. People work together, and I've been to the Mastermind twice, and then I came once in between that. So I've really only have been out here for 3 trips, maybe 3 weeks in total, but I was able to really witness that collaboration and see how there's support and tight-knit community, all helping each other, which is really great.
And you have some experience with that. So we have something called the Breakfast Club here where we meet every week and we try and do deals together. You were telling me just a few minutes ago that you ran a something very similar where you would meet weekly for 6 years.
Yeah, we did it for 6 years. Yeah, So in Long Beach, I guess I started actually, when I began, I had a mentor, and he was a contractor, and his wife was an agent, and they were doing flips. And so I followed them around. And so Scott, I was his little protege, he said, let's start this meetup. And I said, okay, great. And so as soon as we started it, he's like, oh, I'm too busy. You run the meetup. And I was like, okay, great. And it was a really wonderful vehicle because as a newbie, I would invite people to come speak about things that I needed to learn about. So I was like, how do you evaluate properties? So I would invite someone to come and speak and teach everyone in the meetup, mainly me, how to evaluate properties. And so we met, I based it on like a business networking group so that we could learn who was committed, who shows up, they're the people you can trust, they're the people you do deals with, and I'm still doing deals with those people. And as you met today, Andy, and the other Andy. So
I know the Andys.
I'm
actually partners with Andy Wallen on one of the properties that was on the bus toward the first house that we're gonna build the flip on. So Andy's with me on that. And
and I met them at this meetup, and so a community was created, and we still work together.
Okay. And so now you've been in real estate for a little over 10 years or something like that? Tell us what you do back home, and then let's talk about that, and then let's compare a California market to a Puerto Rico market. I think that'll be fun.
That will be really fun. So I flip homes in the LA, Long Beach area. Had a great run in like South Central LA when interest rates were 2% and 3%. I could remodel a home there, make it really like a fortress in a kind of an upcoming neighborhood. Someone who was renting on the west side could come and buy $1 million home for less and pay less than they were paying in rent on the west side. And I had a really great run there, and it was really fun. That is no longer viable because now at 6% and 7%, that west side.
Your cost of money has doubled.
So the west side person, their rent's cheaper now to stay there. So all the the people who were able to transition to homeownership is great. You know, I'm really happy to able to facilitate in some of that. Yeah, and I flip in Long Beach, and that market's more stable.
Long Beach is still doing okay?
Long Beach is still doing okay as far as 2 weeks ago. I saw an ugly house on the market, so I sent it to my agent. I said it's a little under market, but it's not enough for me. See if they'll take a lower offer, because we're in this, you know, housing crash.
Yeah, we're in a downward trending market.
No, they had 19 offers.
In a downward trending market.
Yeah, they had 19. Yes.
So you still are not buying bargains.
Yeah, so still not buying bargains in California. Yeah. And when I originally started flipping, my intention was always to get chunks of money to buy and holds.
Yeah.
And I had done that. I bought a bunch like out in the desert and out in San Bernardino where things were cheaper. So I had short-term rentals and long-term rentals. But then like that's not viable anymore either as far as cash flow. And I didn't think about that for a couple of years because I was just like flipping so quickly. I didn't think about my buy and holds.
Yeah.
But then when things were slowing down, I was like, where am I going to put my money that I can get passive income, which is on a buy and hold? And so I looked a little bit at Detroit, just still kind of on my radar. But then Puerto Rico came up. And I came out here and really my mind was blown about, you know, the return on your investment and the potential that's here. And, you know, the Act 60 people, money coming in with people moving here on Act 60. And yeah, it just seems the right time.
So there's some parallels, right? Like with my story and how I came to Puerto Rico, we also experienced a market that changed pretty rapidly from 2012 to 2017. So like 2012 was the bottom, or 2010 was the bottom, I don't know. And then it just kind of was a rocket ship, right? And it got harder and harder to find good, safe investments that I could make a fun return with, right?
Yes,
and so by the end of 2017, I was like, I've got to get out. I knew in like 16 I started looking. I've got to find a new place, right? And so by the end of 2017, I was really actively looking for somewhere to go in 2018. And it was, for me, it was between like Indianapolis, Chicago, and Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And that really wasn't a hard choice for me. I don't like to be cold. So I like the warm weather, and Puerto Rico is very similar to Florida. And I was looking for somewhere where my money would go further. I'm a value-add investor, and I know you're also a value-add investor. And so we came here with the idea that our money would go further and that we could fix some things and have good returns, fun returns, which, you know, that's like 40% plus returns on a flip. That's fun for me. I thought that was good.
That's fun for me.
That's fun for most people. And I compare it back to like the last flip that I was doing in 2017 in Florida. If everything goes well, we might make 20%, right? Like, and then when we came to Puerto Rico, if everything goes well, I don't know what the upside was. It was, you know, really good, and kind of the floor was this 30 or 40% kind of return. Right. Now, I had to buy more houses because for what I could buy a house for to flip back in Orlando, and I want to get your opinion on this because I know your number's even much more than mine.
Yes.
So I'm buying houses in Orlando at the time for 125 to 250, let's say, and then fixing them up and selling them for 200 to 400,000. And coming here, I was buying houses for like $35,000 and $40,000, putting some money in them and then selling them for 100 to 150.
Yeah.
And I could do that as much as I wanted after Maria. Like that was the thing.
Right.
So now you're buying houses in California to do flips, and let's talk about those numbers, because when you compare California to Puerto Rico, your money doesn't, like my money went a lot further coming from Florida, but yours goes even more. Like it's a really
It's extreme.
vast.
Yes,
it's extreme. That's a good word.
Yes, it's extreme. So the one I'm buying right now.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because I think this is a really great opportunity and it's really fun to do ADUs. I'm buying a duplex for $780. I'm going to remodel the duplex lightly because they're in good condition. It's on a large lot, the duplex, with 5 garages. So I'm going to add 2 ADUs. So I'll make 2 units, 4 units. So
Tell everyone ADU is
an accessory dwelling unit, and I guess it might just be a California thing.
No, well, I think it's expanding out of California. We're
Okay.
hearing about them in Florida.
Okay.
And I don't think that 2 years ago I'd heard of them, but they weren't really a thing, but now they are starting to be a
Yeah,
thing.
so ADUs are a great way to add value to property. Accessory dwelling unit, so you're just adding an accessory to the already existing single family. So any single family can add one ADU and one junior ADU.
Oh, so you can add 2 extra units, 2 extra times where you can collect rents, 2 extra pieces of space that increase your value,
Yeah.
because when you sell on a price per square foot.
Yes.
So you can go from a 3,000 square foot house to a 6,000 square foot property with
rental income.
Yeah,
yes.
with rental income.
And for California, it was really the motivation to do this was the housing,
Yeah.
was affordable housing. There's no cities are not able to keep up with their affordable housing requirements by the state.
Yeah.
And so the state passed this ability for people to do accessory dwelling units so that there could be more affordable housing available.
Yeah.
And hopefully help the homeless crisis. I don't know if it will or not, or I don't know what's, yeah. But
I wonder.
yeah, yeah. But it's a great, for a homeowner, it's great to have that potential. Maybe your kids can't afford, and so they go to college, but they can live in the accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah.
But that frees up a space for someone else to rent out the rent. Anyway, so I'm adding 2 ADUs to my duplex. So I'll go back to those numbers. I'm buying 780. I'm in at 420 for the construction. And sell at $1.5 million.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you get a nice return,
Yeah.
and
My risk is $1 million.
yeah.
Just $1 million
Yeah,
plus
so
a little bit.
You're investing 1.1
Yeah.
to make after costs and everything, a $300,000
Yeah.
return. So 25%, and that's good. And what I love about that plan is that you don't have to look at comps as is. You're going to add this square footage. So
Yes.
you just look at the square foot
Footage,
value and figure
yeah.
out how much you can build, what's it cost you versus what you are going to be able to sell at. That's really easy to figure that kind of stuff out, right? It gets harder here in Puerto Rico
Yeah,
to
right.
determine that.
Right.
But we are value add investors as well. And so now let's talk about here you come and you invest in something that you bought from me for $250,000. That's 9 units effectively, right? It's
Yeah.
2 commercial spaces and 7 apartments. And
Yeah.
I don't think we ever talked about at any point how many square feet it was, or it was just like, look at that, it's a big building, it's $250,000. And you're like, God, that's a great deal.
Yeah, so I know. So on the bus tour yesterday, people were asking me how many square feet is the building, and I'm like, I have no idea.
That's big.
It's big.
It's really big.
Yeah.
So how do you know you got a good deal? Well, look
at
at
it.
it. It's got
Yeah.
no value or no income, right? And we're going to create all of this income. And we're going to have nightly rentals, and we're going to have a restaurant on the bottom that's going
Yeah.
to be bringing in monthly revenue. And you're going to have a really cool rooftop
Yeah.
concept that's going to be bringing in. So you've got 3 or 4, because you have a back unit too that I guess will become part of your hotel. But you have at least 3 streams of revenue that don't exist today.
Yeah.
Talk about value add. So right,
Yeah,
you
so
know what's going to happen.
So just to put those numbers out,
Yeah.
so we bought it from you for $250.
Yep.
Seller financed 188.
87, 185.
Yeah, 107. Yeah, 188. Remodels 350.
Yep.
So we're all in at like 6, and we're projecting 12 to 15 a month in
Yep.
income. Yeah. So the return on
So you're all in at 6, and you think you're going to have $150,000 a year
Yeah.
of revenue,
Yeah.
of net revenue.
of net revenue. Yeah.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And that's a really good way to figure out what something's worth. You know what you're buying it for, you know what you're going to spend to fix it, and then you also can figure out what's it worth at a 10 cap, what's it worth at a 12 cap, and that's
Yeah, and you can say we're all in at 6, but because we're seller financing, we don't really have to come up with all the cash,
Yep.
because of the seller finance. So that is a helpful thing. So thank you.
You're welcome, and it's better than that. So then you're
Yeah, it's
also
better than
going to
that,
get
yeah.
40% tax credits over the next
Yes.
4 years. So you're all in at 6, plus you're going to get to throw on top of that your first year operation and your first year marketing. So
Yeah.
let's say you're all in at 8, and then you get 40% back on that.
So we've been approved to be all in by the tourist board already. So we've been approved for 1.1 million.
Oh my.
So we can spend 1.1 million and get 40% back of that. So hopefully well, not hopefully. I'm sure the first year we open, we're going to really push the marketing, really, help with that. So, yeah.
This is something that we're learning, so I'll share with you.
Yeah.
And it excites me what you just said. Yesterday we went to the Surfing Turtle, and we're getting tax credits on that. Well,
okay.
Guess what our marketing budget was the first year? Not $1. So
right.
we really failed. It was a big fail on our part. We should have spent a ton of money because we're going to get 40% of it back, right? So
you're going to get
we could have done much better as far as filling the rooms and having people know about us, and we've done this all organically, and it's been great. But in any of our upcoming projects, we're going to have a massive marketing budget that first year.
Yes,
Let's market the hell out of it. I mean, so Sean was telling me on the bus tour yesterday, he's like, yeah, you can throw like grand opening parties, and you can buy some things that are for the grand opening party that will help you for years to come and get these tax credits back on it.
Yes.
So I have to figure out where you go with that exactly, but I do know that it was a fail on our part. I mean, even though the property's doing really well, we now know that that's something you can get these tax credits on, and it's wise to invest in that. This marketing stuff is wise to invest in. So
I love that throw a grand opening party.
Yeah.
We have that huge restaurant.
You have a huge restaurant, so then you can market that, get people to come to the restaurant, to market the hotel, get 40% tax credits
I'm so
back.
excited.
You're flying back to the island to do the grand opening and get 40% back on your travel.
Yes. I could put
you better check with your tax accountant to make sure that you're allowed to do this stuff. But
I was going to say, I can get 40% back on my travel?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
I'll
be coming.
It depends on how far you press the envelope. But,
yes, right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, but anyways, spend some money on marketing. You get 40% back. It's a beautiful thing. And you could, in this scenario, if you get to the 1.1 and you get 40% back over time, you're going to get more in tax credits than you spent to purchase the place.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. More to purchase, almost the same amount as the purchase and the remodel.
Yeah. So
So that's coming back, and then we get to keep the property.
Yeah. So you basically buy it for $250, you renovate it, and then with your tax credits, you did all of the improvements for free.
Yeah.
And now your $150,000 a year of net revenues is no longer necessarily based on $600. You can base it on what you're effectively in at, which may be $250,000. Sorry.
Yeah, which is and then it's almost an infinite return on your money. It's like, if you get it all back,
it's a pretty cool way to do business. And then, of course, our mastermind that we did this week was to tie things into opportunity zones, which I don't think that you guys set it up that way in this instance.
Yeah. I didn't have capital gains, and we have another partner, Josh, who we haven't mentioned. Yeah. So Zachary got me and Josh together. Josh is from Buffalo, New York, and we met
Josh is a friend of the channel, so
okay.
He actually came and stalked us, looked at all of our stuff, and then we did a deal together from the YouTube channel, which is really cool, guys. Yeah. We do partnerships with people on this channel. Yeah. Give us a like.
Yeah, and Josh, he's coming on Friday, so we're.
He's coming on Friday.
He's coming on Friday.
Oh, cool. All
right.
I
leave on Saturday, but he'll be here.
Okay. Yeah. Good. He owes me an interview.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, neither one of us had capital gains at the time, but we wanted to buy it anyway because it's such a great deal. Yeah. But I am going to generate some capital gains for my next purchase, and I mean, the OZ Opportunity Zone and the tax credits together. I mean.
If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you've heard me say this is the best way to invest for some long-term wealth and wealth generation. Like this opportunity zone idea that came around only from in 2018, I think it launched, and it allows you to defer your capital gain today through 2026 and grow a business and have real estate appreciate inside of a QOZB for 10 years and then sell it and have complete tax avoidance when you get a step up in basis after a 10-year hold. And so coupling that with Act 60 tourism in Puerto Rico, it's just otherworldly type good. I say it all the time. I think it's the very best strategy that's in existence today.
Yeah, there's nowhere else.
And if there's one that's better than that, I'm still going to keep saying that this is the greatest way to do it because it's the one I know, but I'd love to hear about it. So if anybody's watching this and you think, oh, I know something better, well, then tell me about it because I haven't heard about it yet. You know, I mean, this
then
is
tell me
really
about
good.
it.
And then I'll tell you for sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I appreciate that these masterminds existed because the first one, my mind was blown, but I was grasping things like knowing like this is a great opportunity, and I was grasping it, but not grokking it. Did you ever read Stranger in a Strange Land?
No, I haven't.
When you grok something, you understand it fully in your body.
Okay.
So I wasn't grokking it, but I was like understanding it.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about the opportunity zone part really because I didn't have capital gains. The deal was great anyway.
Yeah.
But then this time here, like it's really sinking in more deeply.
Yeah.
The incredible how it's compounded.
Yeah.
If you bring those two together is just,
I mean, I can't even say it strongly enough. It's just really, really great. And I had this sort of light bulb go off about we do everything that's value add based around real estate. And then when you create things like a hotel, there's a series of other businesses that can be created through that, right? And my new thought is that by investing in a bunch of other businesses that will operate, it's likely going to be that 10, 15 years from now, the thing that really X's. Like, I think I can 10X the real estate, but I might be able to 1,000X some business that I don't even know that I'm going to invest in yet. But because we've got all of these different buildings and developments going, there's going to come someone who's going to reach out and say, hey, I want to, here's an example. I want to store the bags for everybody who travels to the island. And I had a friend in Orlando who took people's bags when they were coming to go to Disney, and he would get their bags at the airport and then take them to Disney World. And his company was called Bags. And he started out, with a van and grabbing someone's bags. Anyways, about 5 or 6 years ago, he liquidated the company. I think it was for somewhere between like $500 million and $1 billion. So that kind of investment in a business like that thing can grow over a 10 or 15-year period of time, can just, and it might when not you start be, thinking about that, your mind just...
And it might not be an idea that you have, but someone comes to you and says, hey, I would like to do this within your hotels, and then you say, yeah, let's partner, let's
it's
do
absolutely
this.
not going to be my idea. I mean, I have lots of ideas, but it probably won't be my idea, right?
Because you're real estate minded.
I am very real estate minded, and I also don't need to run any more businesses. So, but I invite partnerships, and someone's going to come around and say, I want to do this. I'm going to say, okay, I'll invest a little bit of money, and then they're going to blow it up, and we're going to make Microsoft money.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, that sounds
great.
Prayer. That sounds great. It's good also that it's good for me to see you thinking out of the box that way.
Yeah.
Like not getting trapped in like the idea of like, oh, I do real estate, but like have the it's more than just real estate. It's because in the opportunity zone it could be a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it
grows.
And it grows.
Yeah, and we're creating high-paying jobs, and you're doing really cool stuff for the community and stuff. By design, that's what the Opportunity Zone Fund kind of mandates: is that you must invest in significant renovations or significant development and creating high-paying jobs and those kinds of things. So, and we have just all the need in the world here in Puerto Rico, and any kind of business that you can think of, I believe could be successful, from tourism through manufacturing, just everything is here, kind of waiting for somebody with a lot of energy and a great idea to come and do it, right? So I'm, again, asking people to come partner with us. Yeah,
Robbie's a good partner to have. Especially, I mean, if you're new to the island, I'm new to the island, I don't live here, I come and visit, and to know that you've kind of chopped down the weeds, you've created a path that now other people can walk on that path. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, we obviously we work hard, and we if we have anything that we can look back and say we've done really well, it's not that we have figured everything out. It's that we just keep doing it. Like we show up day after day and keep pounding at it and keep chopping wood. We chop wood a lot, and then we have a series of successes that we can look back at and go, that was really good. In the day-to-day, sometimes we're like, gosh, this is so hard. But
I had that experience the week before I came here, my own flipping.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I have to find a new job.
Yeah, there's got to be an easier way.
But then when I think about it, there's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, me
So,
too.
yeah.
As much as I don't complain all that much, but when I do complain, most mornings I jump out of bed. I'm excited for the day,
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see what God has in store for me and what's next.
Right,
So that's the kind of stuff that I just love. I really get excited by what we're doing. So that was, again, going back to yesterday, as we were walking around the bus and you were saying, hey, thanks for selling me this. I could see in your eyes, like, the excitement of, it was we're kind of down looking at the building and looking up at the building, and you're like, we're going to do something really cool here.
Because I see the vision.
Yeah.
Like, part of my gift as a flipper, as a remodeler, is I can take an ugly house and I can really make it beautiful. And that's what we're going to do to that property. We're going to make it really, it's going to thrive.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome. Zachary's done a really good job of hitting the ground running.
Yeah, he has.
And the fact that you guys have your conceptual approval in hand this quickly, that's kudos. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really well done. That's a great job. So be happy about that. That's a win.
Yeah, Josh and I both congratulated him, said thank you. Because I'm here and he's there.
Yeah.
I'm there and he's here. I'm constantly like saying thank you. I really appreciate that you're there.
Yeah.
Like I want him to know that I couldn't do this without him because I'm not here.
Yeah, so that's a big win. And I love that he was able to do that quickly.
Yeah.
And just to see the place that, it's only been right now 1 month. And
Yeah,
you
1
guys
month.
have a crew on the ground and
Demos happening.
You're doing the demo
And that gigantic crane was out there.
yeah, very cool stuff.
So Robbie, thank you so much for having me. If people are back in California or anywhere kind of on the mainland and they want to reach out to me and find out what I'm doing here, please email me, satiah@mac.com. And for all of those people who have been investing with me for the past 10 years, putting your faith in me, come out to Puerto Rico, see what's happening. Let's keep building together, thriving together, making money together, changing communities together. Puerto Rico is amazing, so come on out.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and watch this next video. Leave a like on this one. God bless you all. Thanks for watching.